Hello, my name is Stephanie Ross, and I am enrolled in leadership theory at Aspen University. And Dr. Larry Reagan asked us to create a video about some leadership theories and how they impact our daily life and what our work situation might be currently. So I'd like to go over four leadership theories, and the first is contingency leadership theory. And this involves a few things. It's a relationship where the leader to the team. It's also a relationship that deals with leader to task and the situation to the task. Now, one thing we learn in leadership theory is there's not actually one theory that is going to be effective in all situations. And another thing that we'll learn and talk about a little later is that every situation does not necessarily just have one leadership theory that will solve all the issues within that situation. So we have to be very flexible, I think, as leaders, and we look at situations that require certain personality traits and certain, and advice through these theories, how we handle these tasks. But we have to understand that we have to be flexible even after the situation is we have started. So let's talk about a little bit about the relationship of the leader to the team. My relationship to my team is that I'm their mom. I am two children who are learning virtually, and I am in school virtually as well. So we are here all together. My daughter has Down syndrome and she is profoundly deaf, and we do have a few added challenges with her education, but this has been a great option for her to be home. But it certainly adds to my responsibility as being the leader in our home and keeping things moving, because sometimes home can be a very challenging place to do that, because this is where we live and everything is going on. It can be very chaotic at times, but we have to learn how to manage all of that. So that's a major part of my leadership role. And then I also have a son. He's 18 and he is learning virtually as well. Of course, he takes care of things more on his own. He does more self-managed tasks and planning, and he also works several days a week, which makes a big difference, that he has his own thing going on. But nevertheless, I have a responsibility of overseeing what happens in our home. So that's my relationship to the team, is that I am their mom, but I am also their leader. And my relationship as a leader to the tasks at hand. I mean, sometimes I have to be completely in control of everything that goes on. With my daughter, a lot of things are hand over hand. And so I have to help her with tasks that involve her. With my son, I can be more of a delegator with him. I do have to oversee, but I can delegate. And the situation to the task. We have to consider exactly where we are and what we're doing and what needs to be done as a result, what the tasks are. And I have to figure out whether or not that, again, is something for me to be hands-on or something for me to allow the children to do on their own, which even sometimes with my daughter, she can complete some tasks, and I have to know what that is and when that is. So contingency leadership theory reminds us that we have to be really look at each task, each situation, and choose what leadership style is appropriate at that time. Continuum leadership theory. This theory says that we will make decisions. The leader will make decisions sometimes and just instruct the team. Other times, the leader offers an idea and wants the support of the team. And then there are times when the leader gives the team the complete control. And I can see there are times, certainly, when this comes into play in our home. There are times I have to say, this is what needs to be done for us to have a successful day, successful week, successful school year. There are other times I throw something out there, especially when it's with my son, and I say, how do you think this is going to work? And I need your support and I need your feedback. It might be how we're going to do some of the extracurricular activities and how we're going to make that work, and get his feedback. If we want to go to a museum, it might take a little more convincing on my part that that's even necessary. But, too, he can sit there and think about it. What kind of museum would he want to go to? What kind of maybe live music performance would he enjoy? And I can work with him on that. And maybe he can even help me plan that. But then there are other times when I just give him complete control. I say, okay, it's time for you to plan something for us to do, either extracurricular or honestly, it could even be a meal. And say, okay, this one's on you and I want you to be completely in control. And there's sometimes situations like, let's say, extracurricular activity and maybe our weekly menu. they can have a little bit of that continuum swing. It might be that I take full control, that I ask for the team to participate, or that I just give over the control to the team. And that works as well. We also have the normative leadership model. And this is something that I would put into play when I'm planning an event, I think, with the family. It involves deciding, the leader needs to decide what you're going to do, consult the individuals in the group, which in the case of my daughter, instead of consulting, what I need to do is consider her ability and her challenges and what works best for her. But, and of course, with my son, we would just talk about that individually and then think about how we're going to work together as a group. Is this something where we're all going to participate in everything? Is this something where we're going to have, we'll do some things by ourselves? My son will do some things. Maybe we'd even incorporate somebody else in that event, and we'll include them in the planning as well. So sometimes we do that on occasion. We'll bring friends, and then that does change the dynamic, certainly. But primarily it's still going to be, we're going to make sure everyone's needs are met. What are the challenges? What are the abilities of everyone on the team? And then as a group, how are we going to make this successful? And then it's important for me to think about the facilitate. This is the fourth, is how does the leader facilitate what those challenges might be? After we've had our group discussion, we know what everyone needs. We know what some challenges might be. How are we going to make that happen? And that's something for me to work out. And then when we actually work, when the tasks need to be done, maybe to make that work. An example might be if my daughter needs to go from point A to point B in a way that is going to be more successful for her, how can I make that happen? Okay, maybe this would be, my son's going to be responsible for putting the stroller that we need to do that for her in the car. It might even be something as simple as that. So as we go through all the challenges, then we need to say someone's going to be delegated to make sure that need is met, so that I'm not just running around trying to do everything myself, which is probably one of the biggest challenges I have as a leader in my home, is not doing everything on my own and allowing them to do things, allowing him to do things, and allowing my daughter to do things, because that can honestly be very challenging. I think in any role, anytime you're a leader, you want to do it all yourself sometimes, because delegating and incorporating the gifts of everyone in your group, recognizing who they are and what they can contribute, can be very challenging. But it's necessary. The last leadership theory I want to address is leadership substitution theory. And so staying consistent with what we talked about first, the contingency leadership theory, it's important to acknowledge that each situation might not find the perfect leadership theory. Okay, so in this, we might have to have even more than one. So if you have one idea that you think is going to work, one for a situation that you think, oh, this is going to be perfect, it's going to, dot every I, cross every T. The reality is there could be other variables involved, and we need to be ready for that. That we might need to have another idea ready, and possibly even a completely self-managed idea that someone in the team could take over, especially if something happened that was unexpected. And for us, that is always a possibility. I might need to leave and take care of something with my daughter, and I need to make sure someone else is on board to take over and be in charge. If we had other people with us, that would certainly be a factor. We have been considering a kayaking trip that would involve those who are very experienced, as well as someone who's not very experienced. And we always need to make sure that someone who is experienced is there and available. And if something happened, other variables, that there would be someone to step in. And so as typically I am the only adult, sometimes other adults go with us. I am the only adult in the home. So I do have to be aware that if there is another variable, someone else needs to step in. Typically, it would be something my son could take care of, but if not, I need other people on my team. I need people on my periphery team. I need people who could be contacted if something happened. So I think a lot of what we have to do is have a backup plan, and these leadership models and theories, they support that idea. You need to have one idea that is you put before your team, a goal, a situation, and then you need to understand that there are variables that are going to change, along the way. And just be prepared. Have people on your team that could step in. And whether you've made the decision of exactly what you want them to do and you expect them to follow, or whether or not you are going to just give them an idea of what you'd like for them to do and let them be take it from there, or whether or not you say, look, I'm just going to leave this completely up to you. And I trust you that you can figure out what to do, or that you have had the experience to know what to do. And so I think that's it. I think we need to know ourselves, and we need to know our team, and we need to understand that theories and models are here to help us and to guide us, but they will not make us into the leaders that we need to be. That's going to come from our own intuition and our own ability to just make that call at the right time. Thanks so much, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day wherever you are. If you're if taking the time to watch the video, and I want to